Yeehaw, baby.
Hey.
Jeez, boys, we are early. What is
Back
going on?
fucking fashion icon, mate.
If you guys couldn't tell, Dan is really sober right now.
Is this pre-recorded?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, John's got trim. Hold up.
To be fair, man is looking fresh.
I'm going short next time I get a trim.
See, I was gonna try to do the mullet, but I got quickly
do you know
voted
what?
out on that.
Mullet's past its time, you know.
Yeah, facts.
Like only a select few people can actually pull it off. Like you've actually got to be born to have a mullet, you know. None of this getting it for the sake of it.
Bro, do you remember when Tom had a mullet? That was sick.
Nah, I don't know. He's not one that suits it really. I'm not saying.
You rate it?
I just don't think it suits him, man. I picture like an Aussie bloke with a mullet. That's the kind of person that, or like a posh bloke with a mullet.
Do you know what that's just reminded me of? Have we thought of Dan's? Have we thought of Jack's forfeit?
Oh shit!
Wait, no swearing. Also, in the last pod, I literally just cut out the swear words, and it cut too seamlessly. So it would be like, it would just go from one word to the next, like the sentence would just flow. So we sound really weird because I'll be like, oh, I had a cracking time. Oh, it was crazy. And then Luke will be like, Jack, you can't say that. Because I said like, oh, it's crazy or something.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because the sentence still makes sense, but then obviously we've got
our little beat noise over it.
No, I'm pretty sure it picks it up.
Bro, it's already posted, so you know.
No, but for the future,
mate. Do you know how long it took me to do that?
I don't know how hard it is to just, because surely if you found it, it would be easy enough to just put a beep.
No, man. Once you found the audio, you just press the delete key. It's easier than like cropping the sound to fit the exact length.
Yeah, that's sound, man. That's all good.
Oh well, so people know we've mentioned it early.
How has everybody been?
John, how's your foot?
the foot's doing well. It's hovering up.
Live on camera.
Yeah. No, I'm not
no
my
free
for the internet.
Can't be doing that.
You can pay me for that type of service if you want, but that's a DM scenario. Yeah, the foot's holding up well. For those that don't know, I might have broken my foot. Yet to be confirmed, but the toes may be purple, but we don't look at that.
That's too funny.
We keep moving.
That is sick.
That's too funny, mate. Sorry.
Other than that, man, it's just been assignments recently. I'm getting ready for a presentation. Boys doing a presentation.
They're the worst bits of uni presentations, man. I don't want to stand up in front of someone. Let me write an essay.
Even with beta blockers, it's really not the one.
Yeah, no.
It's on what? Sorry.
Even with beta blockers, it's not the one.
Oh right, fair.
That took me a sec. Fuck.
I was a bit confused as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Open drug use, boys.
Oh yeah. Jack, what about you?
Well, speaking of open drug use, is that what you're saying? It's good. The biggest win for me, right? Biggest win, because this is a check-in. The biggest win for me has been my knees. My knees are doing okay. I know. I've started walking around more, and being less of an inactive shit has helped my joints. Plus, I got some collagen.
Jack.
Yes. I don't think that one's too bad. Can we decide the forfeit real quick before we continue?
Yeah, right.
I feel like we glossed over that a bit too quickly for my liking. Are we going something with the hair? Something with the Instagram? What are we thinking, boys?
What can we get him to do on Instagram that won't get him cancelled?
Oh, yeah, God.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a few ice baths?
Ice bath?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm not a bulk. Can I at least, like, shred beforehand? Like,
no, bro.
In clothes.
You can do what Cuba does, and you know how he just like does video stories in the ice bath.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
and then,
give us-
then you've got to time lapse yourself actually doing it as well. We want to see you actually be, although then you're not on your phone. Get someone else to time lapse you in there.
Groceries, ice. I'll buy
I reckon it can't just be one session. That's not running.
What? What
I
is
reckon it's got to be like you've got to commit to it like a.
Dan is a savage, man.
Somebody sober this guy up.
All right. Well, it can be another forfeit, another ice bath if you lose this week as well.
All right, fine, you're on.
I feel bad because I wouldn't do an ice bath.
Yeah, if somebody else loses,
I don't even have a bath here, so there you go.
I thought for a second, I was like, do I even have a bath? And I do, luckily. Almost saw, but I didn't.
Do we think an ice bath's fair or too far? What we
ice shower, bro.
Ice shower. How?
Nah, commit to it. Ice bath. That'd be
Just do an ice. Yeah, I just get packs of ice and throw them on my bath and then go in.
I don't know
How cold is the sea by you?
Inside.
How cold is the sea by me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go.
Oh.
yeah, all right, man. I'll do that. I'll jump in the sea.
Nah, okay, no, we need to specify. I can't just hop in the sea and then hop out.
Bro.
You got to hop in, get out, and sit there for like half hour.
Nah, I'm not doing.
That's
stay in the sea for a bit. Take a ball out there to play with.
How
That's
cold is Welsh water? Not sea water.
Full submersion has got to be required. I'm saying head under.
Oh, that doesn't even.
Dan is feeling reckless today.
I
Man.
am, man, because I know I'm not going to lose. I got this.
That doesn't sound that bad on paper, but trust me, in person, it's ice.
Where do you live?
Aberystwyth.
Nottingham.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
But it's good weather at the moment, where I am at least. Is it good weather where you are? No, okay. That sucks to be you.
Not ideal. Jack, do you want to carry on with how you're doing?
Sorry about that.
So my knees are healing up. I got some collagen, and hopefully it won't be too long before I'm training legs and hinging again. But you're not going to see it on the gram for a while, because I'm going to get outlifted by you lot for about 6 months.
Man's got natty numbers.
Oh man, horrifically, yeah. Because I've never had the chance to like train them properly. So I train like a proper gym bro at the minute because all I'm good at is pressing. It's sad, but yeah, that's what it is.
My knees aren't good. I couldn't even do my quad work today.
Your knees aren't good.
Nah,
That's just the football protocol.
I played football last night and it felt all right in the moment, but this morning and today in the leg session, knees weren't having it. But I'm due a deload, so I'm taking 4 days at least.
Fair, man.
That's the update in my life. Oh, and dissertation deadline creeping up 3 weeks away-ish, but on track by... I reckon I could finish it in the next week, to be fair, but I probably won't know me. I'll procrastinate it a little bit, but it will get done in good time. And then I've got exams, and then I'm done by April 14th. That's my last day of uni ever.
Ooh.
Crazy times. And then we just pray everything comes back at first. But by then, I'll know 2 of my courseworks. So
Man is like a real
I'm
adult.
confident. Quite not so quietly confident. Lou, what about you?
So finished up deload, training at the coach now. So first couple of sessions is pretty much just sort of getting to grips with things, all the different equipment and trying stuff out. There's a couple of things that I tried that I'm like, yeah, not for me, but most of it feels pretty damn good.
Or I'm going to go with a question here, early doors.
Okay.
Boys, what are we saying about a £15 day pass for the coach? Please, come on. What are we saying? We're going to start with Jack. What are we saying? £15 day pass.
I don't think it's that bad. Right, hear me out. How often do you go to a gym just for the day? Normally pretty rare, right?
Nah, thing is for me, maybe it's different because I'd say I go fairly often.
What, for a day?
The day pass, yeah, I reckon it averages about like 1 every 2 weeks.
What? Why? What for?
Do you know, should I go back from my Instagram? Because I believe I posted a reel of them all.
Man's an explorer.
Yeah, well, it's just like if I go home, I'm at a gym, or if I go somewhere with Izzy, I'm at a gym, or go down to Dad's, I'll be at a gym. So I went home for Mother's Day, so I trained at Factory this weekend. I went to Grow Room on the 1st of March around that time, so 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks before that I was at Destination. Then a week before that I was at Rotherham. Then I had Shreds and Intent and the coach were all in a pretty close vicinity. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough if you're bouncing around that much, but I feel like the coach, the way that I see it, right, the coach is a gym where most people will go there fairly into their training. They're fairly consistent with where they're going. So they're not really going to be going for a lot of one-offs. And the day pass is there to put into perspective the price of it per month. So most people, I would wager that most people who buy that day pass buy it for like 15 quid. And then they're like, either, oh, I'm going to sign up here because I'll save myself money, or they'll be like, I don't want to train here. And then is what it is. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, but what about for visitors like us lot?
Yeah, but then it's like, it's a one-off, you know? Like, I don't mind spending 15 quid to train with you boys because it's a one-off.
Yeah, fair. I was gonna go, but I didn't have anyone to train with, and I was like, it's not really worth a solo session.
I wouldn't.
What do you mean? I thought we were going to train there.
You were on a deload, mate.
Oh, this was last week.
It was over Mother's Day.
Oh, right. I thought you were saying you were going to do this Wednesday.
It was going to be the Saturday, but instead I trained at Future on Saturday morning, then went home.
Can't believe you deloaded over Mother's Day, bro.
I didn't. Yeah.
Scheduling it with life and that. Fair.
Yeah. Great.
Right. So topic for this week. What are we running through?
God.
Fitness myths, in it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I've actually asked ChatGPT for some like common myths.
Chat
He
shit.
phoned me up like half an hour ago and he was like, bro, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, because I confirmed it. I wanted to come prepared.
Yeah, so we've got some chat GPT generated ones and then a couple ones we thought about. I don't know if Jack and John, you guys have thought about a few.
If you've got some, do yours, then I'll go for the ChatGPT because some of them are like really quick because they're obvious.
I'm asking Chat GPT as well.
Man, still come with the same stuff.
Okay, phrase it differently so it gives you different
will.
questions then. Right, okay. Dan,
Let me
go first.
Let's go first.
Oh, thing is, mine are just like rants. I'm doing like less whole specific gym, more like training specific. Like, oh, nah, they're just rants. They are just full on rants. If I'm honest, but I can get into that. I could do some of that later if needs be. But I could tell you what ChatGPT said to me.
Go on then.
Let me get this bad boy up.
Man is not prepared.
None of us are, though, let's be real.
I've got so many little windows open from my dissertation on my screen that are about the same size as Zoom minimized, so it's covered them all.
Oh, Sigma grind set, bro. Working too hard.
What can I say, mate? Hardest worker in the room.
You're the only person in
God, how many are there?
Fill the air, please.
Bro, I must have closed about. What? Okay, right. Okay, we are ready.
I'm so sorry to any of my clients who watch this week.
Yeah, sorry, lads.
Should we delete this one?
And girls.
Yeah. Inclusivity.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Cardio
Yes,
is the
go.
best way to lose weight.
Yeah, bro. 2 hours a day.
Yeah, bro. What?
Up the clen. Up the Yohin bean.
Up the dose.
I reckon that's quite a common perception among people that have no idea in the gym.
Yeah, I 100% agree. A lot of people probably think that. Who wants to tackle it? Tackle it. Who wants to tackle it?
I don't really know if there's that much to say. Just you're going to
John,
put
you've been quite
less in a hole if you do it through your nutritional side rather than burying yourself with fatigue with cardio. Like, only use it if you need it, you know. Fair enough, keep some in for health, but
John,
you don't need to ramp that up.
got a new trim, bro. Let's hear that new brain.
Could you repeat the question in full? You kind of lagged a little bit. That's why I kept quiet.
Cardio is the best way to lose weight.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if everything else is in check, like you said, Dan, if they've got everything sort of pinpoint, it doesn't have to be like absolutely pinpoint. There could be high and low days, but genuinely, it could be an alright tool. Like,
I feel like potentially for some people, if cardio makes you hungrier and you're likely to go over on your calories or crave, then it's not ideal. But it's just a way of burning calories. It's just a way of eating slightly more, but it might make you hungrier. So
I'd say for the average person, they should do like cardio that's enjoyable. Bodybuilders and I do like the bike and stuff. Go out and play football or something, but actually make it enjoyable.
true.
Stop when you're a lifestyle client. Stop doing like cardio on the bike unless you're like committing to like bodybuilding a bit more. That's gonna be mind numbing for you unless you actually enjoy it. So go out and do something you enjoy, or join a team or something.
If you're a lifestyle client, your food's probably already quite low, so a deficit for you is going to be like sub 2,000, and then that makes a lot of things off the table in terms of making it fit your macros. So maybe cardio is a good way to go.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You've also got to weigh up the time side of things, in that most people outside of bodybuilding have a life. So fitting in a lot of
don't want it enough.
Fitting in a lot of cardio can be tough.
I say we comprehensively answered that. Well done, boys.
Yeah, we fucking smashed that.
Right, next one. You should always stretch before exercising.
Dynamically, yes.
That's what ChatGPT said. Look at that. Now this website is nuts, by the way.
Bro, you don't even need coaches, just get ChatGPT.
Yeah, bro.
You know what? When I first tried it, the first thing I asked it was, "Can you summarize training to failure versus RIR?" And I actually gave like a pretty comprehensive summary.
Yeah, but can you? Yeah, but
yeah. Right. So should you stretch before exercising? I do. Although there's studies that say both ways, because I remember seeing studies about saying that it causes no harm.
What about stretching?
Doing it statically, it causes no harm. But then maybe it'll say the other way.
If you're going to stretch, you might as well stretch dynamically. You don't need to, even if there is no on-paper difference. I think just moving before a session is good to get your heart rate up a little bit, especially if you drove in a car and you were sat there in a box. It's good to do some kind of movement before actually hitting your serious sets.
Yeah, good for you.
It's also closer to what we're actually going to be doing. Like, we're not doing isometrics, are we?
No.
We're doing some form of movement.
Yeah.
You don't really need to. If you train very well and you're fairly active, and you probably don't really need to be doing much mobility work, if any at all.
However,
I don't do any.
I do. See, that's the thing. I used to be really good with it, but now I kind of just do like the essentials, and like I will literally warm up my legs and stuff whilst doing my ab sets, like in between it, like just for time efficiency. But no, I think there is a big benefit. And static, I actually do static stuff, and I don't really get injured at all. Like I say that my knee's just gone, but that's because of football. Like I'm usually completely fine, and that's someone that's got pretty brittle joints from their ego lifting days. Can't really say that. Yeah, I'm really stoned. I just forgot what's been said.
Whoa, can't say that, bro. Get cancelled.
Cut me out.
Just cut out the entire thing, mate.
Nah.
Everything Dan says, just forget
Evidence
it.
It's waffle anyway. It's waffle anyway. But yeah, I do static stretches. That's what we were on about.
So don't do it because Dan does it. So there you go.
Oh yeah, but I don't get injured, and I reckon it's really good for your mobility, so you can stop half repping and shit. Oh,
it's fine. I've sworn like 4 times and no one has clocked. I'm not gonna lie.
For real. Oh
yeah,
man.
I think static stretching is good for your mobility, and I've actually noticed a big difference there from doing it over time.
It is.
For the sake of 5 minutes before a session is worth it.
Yeah.
How much of that would you also say is contributed towards like actually getting into those ranges under load as well, though?
Quite a lot, I'd say. Like, yes, I used to ego lift and now I don't, so I can use like an appropriate load, but like I still get, like, I've never had better range on my leg press. Like everything, my pressing, it's like gradually getting better still. Like,
is there sort of like an accommodation period where you will reach a new range and that's sort of unsteady?
Yeah.
And then maybe in a few weeks it'll.
I don't think it feels unsteady. It might feel a little foreign, but I've become able to do it and it's not unsafe. I'm not actually out my active range. I'm just kind of like aiming for a little bit better range, like same way people aim for better execution as progression. like that sort of thing. And I don't think a lot of people do that. I think they get comfortable with like, I don't know, pressing with the bar like 4 inches away from them on a mid-incline Smith or something. Like, why are you doing that? Unless you're huge and that is your active range, like you can definitely get more out of that.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on that, should we run through active versus passive range and like what it is?
Go coaches.
Oh,
Who wants to tackle it first? Luke or John? I feel like I've said a lot this part.
Luke, you can take the floor on this one.
Mr. Drink water.
yeah, fair. I called myself out for that one.
Mm.
So the people would define sort of active range as what we can control within the range of motion, what we have available if we were to say do a squat with no extra weight whatsoever, where we can get to without that load then shoving us down below that. That is what people would then say is a passive range. So we're in a position where we can't necessarily control that, and it's more just the fact that the weight has pushed us there because it's, say, so heavy. So ideally people would say to stay within that active range to limit risk of injury.
But if you're someone where your active range is quite shit, so say if your active range on a squat is like barely bent knees, barely bent hips, and then the rest of hitting depth is all passive, all forced because you've got weight on your back, then clearly if you trained within your active, that's not a lot. You're not going to make a lot of progress there. So you should, like Dan said, like we've said, look to like increase that. So it's good to train within your active, but you should also, if it's shit, train to improve it as well alongside, so that you're able to reach a higher range of motion that's active, which is always good.
I think having a pause in the lengthen helps with that as well.
Now you're wrong.
That's what I've found. I pause. Maybe I am. I'm probably wrong. I'm always wrong.
No. You are right. You are right.
No. I found just like, I don't know, something about having to stop the bar. It's like you kind of manage to get to the same place every time, because you've got to slow it. You can't just dead stop it out of nowhere. So you keep coming down until that point. Whereas people that are like pressing like pretty continuously, like with elbows a bit flared, like the range it just goes quickly. Like I literally saw someone do a 2-plate Smith shoulder press. The first rep was acceptable, I'd say, like it was okay, and then every rep just got higher and higher, and I was like, what? Whereas like I can literally, like, granted, not many people will be able to press in the same range as me, but I can literally get the bar tucked down to here on a Smith press just by tucking my elbows properly with a pause, and I'm still doing like a plate and a half a side reps. Like, I know that's not massive, but you get comfortable training in that motion. You get more out the muscle in the lengthen range, right? So why wouldn't you want to go into the lengthen range as much as you can?
That guy was just doing short and partials, bro. Diminishing range of motion reps. It's a new intensity technique.
Oh, do you know what I hate? I hate people that slow down their reps at the end of a set to get more reps, to get more air in. Keep your eccentric speed continuous. Like, why? I'm not going to name drop, but I see a lot of people do this, so it wouldn't be fair to name drop if you get me. But
I've done it before. Like I'll do it on the last rep of something. If
you're like 20 reps deep on a hack or like 15 reps deep on a hack, but like when you're doing it and it's like 4 or 5 reps are progressively getting slower and slower, just so you can eke them out with a little pause at the top as well. But we're talking like 6-second eccentrics, and the first 5 seconds are in this portion, and then it's like, why are you doing that? Like you're still.
So many people control the hack and then spring out the bottom. They like dunk, and it's like, why? You're controlling the wrong part. If you're going to rush anything, rush the start. Like if you're going to have to rush something.
I'm not going to pretend like I've always done it, because I haven't. I used to be that person. But if you are that person, you don't know any better right now, this is your sign. Actually, yeah, stop like bouncing in the hole, control things, get good ROM. Sort your training out, people. You're never as good at training as you think.
Mate, most of our audience at this minute are my clients, so don't worry, man. They're all on top of it.
That's all right, but I'm giving it from Dan.
That's cool.
How did the views do last week? How did it do with the questions?
What?
You looked the views of the pod.
Oh, go on then.
While Jack's looking,
yeah.
I will just mention another thing that I see with sort of like slamming out of that bottom position as well, is you then get halfway up the rep using that momentum, and then you just can't get it past that point anymore. You just drop to the bottom again.
And your knees won't last long doing that either. That's how mine are gone.
Rest in peace to the knees.
RIP.
We got 28 on the previous, which is our highest in, oh my God, like, oh.
How have you done me with the thumbnail like that? What?
It automatically does it. I don't touch them, I swear.
No, what?
28, that's our
That
highest.
is quality.
That's our second highest.
Is this on YouTube?
Yeah. His jokes.
Oh,
We haven't got that
okay,
many on
okay,
YouTube
fair.
at all. Oh wait, that's the censored one. That's we don't do as well on YouTube.
That's all right. I don't mind. Less people get to see me looking like this.
Oh my
You're
God.
listening, this is your incentive to go to YouTube as well. Come.
The first
You
episode,
do look pretty horrific to be
the
fair.
first episode with
Is that a
Dan is our
Pikachu
highest.
or some shit? Or is that a deer? That's a deer.
Bro,
Pikachu. Brad.
I wish it was Pikachu or Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen's my favorite at the moment.
Dan, you pick up on your thumbnail, but if you looked at all of them, mate, they're all
No,
horrific.
come off it. Look at
They're
me,
all
mate. I'm doing
horrific.
like slanted side eye kind of thing. Fucking straight out the shower in this.
I tried to get the first three as me, Luke, and John, and then from then on, I just didn't care. I just whatever it's
Bro.
as I put it.
what is going on with the swearing here? We're out of control.
Mate, we're just never going to get big, right? That's it. This podcast is doomed because we can't keep our mouths shut.
Okay.
Now, the people
They'll love
who
us for the
like
realness.
us for our brute honesty. That's our USP.
Algorithm.
That's my USP, brute honesty.
Fair. Just to go back to active range for a second, the last thing I'd mention there is how to actually like assess that and find out where you roughly should be training, and then see if you can get a little bit more by exposing yourself to that range more, pausing in the lengthened position, as the boys were saying. Literally just do the movement like without much, if any, external load. So do the hack squat with nothing on it whatsoever and see where you can comfortably get to. Do the Smith press with nothing on it whatsoever, and sort of any body weight stuff, those sorts of movements. And then like machine based stuff, you can just get in the machine and not really use it and see how that goes.
I think to accompany this as well, I think this is where recording your sets becomes really handy, but also knowing or having proprioception around certain areas. So like on a squat, for example, knowing when your butt winks, essentially.
Oh, big words.
Winks is actually quite a short word, I'd argue.
No.
So I like that. What's going on?
I meant to say it when he said proprioception.
A bit delayed there, were you, Luke?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's all Wi-Fi today.
I agree, John.
I agree with John as well. I stand with John. Hashtag Team John. Screw Luke. He doesn't know what he's on about.
Yep. Okay. I mean, he was literally just adding to my point. He wasn't really disagreeing with me, but okay.
Right, are you ready for the next myth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
You wanted to transform this myth, but the one that ChatGPT has come out with is women who lift weights will become bulky. Like them going, I don't want to get bulky by doing weights.
No.
You know, I'm struggling to do it, and I'm trying quite hard, so you won't struggle.
Yeah, the sad reality is like women, particularly if you're on particular birth control, you're probably going to be making slower progress than a guy. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
You probably are, speaking biologically.
And the people that are saying that lifting weights would make them bulky are not going to be people massively into training either. So it's not like you're dedicating everything to it, so you'll be all right.
One thing that I always say to like female clients is, if you improve like the muscularity of your back or of your shoulders or of your legs, it's going to give you the illusion of a smaller waist. A lot of girls, when they look up to like models or people who have like that classic hourglass figure, sometimes it is just like genetic structure, probably the vast majority of the time. But sometimes if you measure their waist, it's not tiny. It's just that relative to the rest of them, it looks smaller. So sometimes if you're a woman who's interested in just kind of toning or getting in shape, putting some effort towards building muscle can give you an illusion of looking slimmer if that's something that you care about. But I feel like more and more girls are moving away from that, which is probably a good thing, and more towards realistic body standards, hopefully.
I was listening to a podcast today and he was like, skinny hasn't been a compliment for decades. Like, remember when that was a good thing, being skinny?
Do you know what? Yeah, when I was younger.
I wanted to be skinny when I was a kid.
Well, so did I. No, I'm thinking more from a girl's perception.
When I was, well, yeah, oh, definitely for girls, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know the turning point in my historical brain is? Do you remember when Meghan Trainor released that song all about that bass? That for me, I reckon the majority of the girl population could be like, yes, let me get thick.
Fair.
That's where it switches in my head.
Fair.
Oh,
I think when me and my friends, like, I think one time in like year 8, we were looking at like models, and we were like, none of these girls look like all of the girls were like, I don't want to look like this, and all of the guys who were straight were like, I don't want really to date a girl that looks like that. So I think for like my little community, that was us being like, body standards are unrealistic and a bit weird. Like, why are they
Pretty
like
woke for a year 8, I'd say. I wasn't that woke, man. I was doing fucking flamethrower
But
deodorant
mate,
hands.
you say that, but it's a nice way of me thinking with my dick when I was like in year 8.
Fair.
Mate, have you seen...
I was definitely at the take what you can get point, man. I was so fat.
Oh, same. But
Oh my
the stuff they want
God.
from models is so weird. They'll be like, oh, we want you to have really long calves and like a short upper thigh, or like short femur, long tibia and fibia, long neck or something. It's really weird, man. They want like weird proportions.
Let me just go and get bone surgery so I can get on a magazine cover.
Yeah, bro, do it.
Like bodybuilding, you either got the genetics for it or you don't.
But I think modeling's worse because like bodybuilding is like put on muscle and you can pose, and like, whereas modeling you can't really, like, there are people who just kind of look like that. Yeah, there's obviously training and like nutrition and stuff that goes into it, but they're not like, you know what I mean? Whereas like bodybuilding is more like you can to an extent work more towards it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Am I
Yeah.
chatting glass?
I think both in very extreme circumstances are very F word bad.
Yeah,
They can be very detrimental to people's health, not just physically, but obviously there's
they're
quite prevalent mental
they're
problems that come with it too.
lifestyles. Both ends are unsustainable lifestyles for sure.
Right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Go on then.
You can spot reduce fat. No.
Your
That's the simple answer. No, you can't put yourself in a deficit.
Clan and your himbine.
Yeah, if you
I
use
think we'll
drugs,
just skip over that one pretty quickly.
That's a joke.
Your fattest body part is always going to be your fattest body part, but it will
Love
get
handle
there
gang.
eventually. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. No pain, no gain. I don't think you should know.
Isn't
you're
there a
not
film
going to get
called that?
hurt doing your exercise?
Yeah, bro. Let me get into a car crash to build
A
muscle.
mild discomfort, like a
why do you think I broke my foot? No pain, no gain.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a GH foot, mate, just swollen, massive. Yeah, just pure edema.
If you can still grip things, you need to up the GH.
Yeah, true, boys, true. Everyone here needs to GH. We all do.
Along the same lines, crunches are the best way to get a 6-pack. Probably a good way to grow your abs, but you need to be in a deficit as well.
Depends on the crunch.
How are you performing that crunch? Because if we're just doing like that,
yeah,
not too much is going on in terms of the abs actually doing that work.
And if
all of the movement is just coming from your hips.
If you're doing 40 reps and that's 10 RIR, it's not ideal either.
Oh, I couldn't think of anything worse than doing 40 reps of fucking crunch. Oh.
Boy,
imagine. Go on. Would you? That could be the forfeit for whoever swears the most next week or something.
40 crunches,
mate. Try or just like max crunches,
bro. 40 crunches.
That's easy.
The ice bath are not comparable.
Yeah.
No, bro. Okay, more than 40,
crunches.
like 100 crunches or some shit.
I'll do 100 crunches.
Me.
Mate, I'll do
just whatever your body weight is, square it, and that's how many crunches you're doing.
Yeah, just max crunches. Go to failure on crunches.
Am I doing almost 2,000 crunches then?
What like failure? Yeah.
10 by 200.
Oh yeah. Oh.
No, you have to do 100 reps, 100-second hold in the short.
Oh, God no. Right. Well,
100-second hold in the short. Another one you mentioned to me earlier from chat, what's it called? Is that a low-fat diet is healthier. How do we feel about this one, boys?
Categorically no. If it's too low in fat, it's bad for you. You need a certain level of fat to maintain a healthy human physique, a human body. There's a lot that fat does. There's a long list that fat does. And without boring you, it's pretty vital. So you need a certain amount.
And that's also just not of the saturated crap you're getting from donuts and pizzas and
get
all
some
of that
peanut
stuff,
butter
like-
in your system.
Yeah,
What's everybody's favorite fat sauce and most
Good
nutritious
question.
fat sauce?
Or what fat
Cashew butter,
sources do people
all the
have in
way.
their diets at the moment?
cashew
Peanut.
butter and macadamia nut oil are like
What do I have?
unreal.
I haven't heard about
feel-
your diet in ages. I want to know what you're eating.
My diet,
Yeah,
olive oil.
just drinking it.
Yeah, just olive oil. No. In the mornings, if I can be asked to make rice, it will be olive oil and rice tucked in.
Is that your only fat meal?
No,
Any
there's
protein
dark-
in that one, or
No.
Yeah. There'll be protein.
Just olive oil and rice, G.
I've got
and then
cheddar.
dark
I've got,
chocolate's quite a favourite one as well. It's quite affordable. So
Yeah.
I've got
and then
cheddar
salmon when I
cheese.
can.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry,
Cheddar
yeah, more,
cheese.
sorry.
sorry, bro.
No, I didn't know you had more. Sorry.
No.
No?
He's so keen.
he
to
is
talk about
now.
his cheese. He's so keen to talk about his cheese.
No,
I got
no.
cheddar cheese. I got cheddar cheese.
Sorry, I thought you said olive oil was your only one.
You can tell me that as smoke.
Silly Joe.
So the title is Dan's cheddar cheese. Episode title: Dan's cheddar cheese.
No.
So Dan, about this cheese, what type of cheese is it again? Is it cheddar?
Yeah.
Cheddar what?
Grated cheddar cheese.
Oh, grated.
Goated
Yeah,
cheddar
I'm
cheese.
willing to spend that extra bit of money to save me the time and effort, if I'm honest.
All right. Christ, this
To
guy's
be fair,
loaded.
I have that as well. It's so much better.
He's
And
loaded.
I have peanut butter on 2 meals. I used to have dark chocolate, but do you know what? It racks up to being pretty spenny for a student.
It's
That's the peanut butter.
little own brand for me.
That's the one I have. It's still
Oh,
but compared to peanut butter. If I had 2 squares, 5 days, that's what £1.50 or something. Versus a tub of peanut butter lasts me way longer than 5 days if I'm having like 20 grams before a training session.
You can have a cardiac.
I can't stand peanut butter.
I
think it tastes
prefer
awful.
almond butter, but then you're coming into the cost debate again. Peanut butter is just cost efficient.
Bro, have you had cashew?
Yeah, I've had them. Yeah, I used to have them. They're banging.
It's so good, man.
Yeah, it is.
So good.
My favorite fat
Right.
sauce myself. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I've been waiting.
Yeah,
to
you
say
are
that.
pretty chunky at the moment.
Mate, I know. I know.
Jack, tell them what I commented on your post the other day.
I don't actually remember. Sorry, mate. You're not relevant.
So
now.
it's all right. No, it's the one I deleted, right? So he was talking about getting uncomfortable to build muscle, and I just commented, "Looking at these pictures makes me feel uncomfortable."
There's a picture of me doing a side tricep where I look so fat and so uncomfortable, and it's so funny. And I will release it once I start dieting, but I can't release it now because it's what I look like now. But it's so I can't get my shoulder back, and I'm like, it's so funny.
How have you got your hands positioned?
Easiest way. That's the easiest way I can like roll my shoulder backward. I can't think of the technical phrase right now.
Is that the correct way to pose down? Is that how we pose?
On a side
Well,
tricep.
you could.
Yeah.
It depends which way around you've got them.
Luke taught me this. I used
This way,
to
innit?
use this.
You grab your thumb that way.
You grab your thumb. I used to grab my middle finger.
Grab your thumb, or you can grab your 2 fingers, but palm facing upwards, like you're holding a cup behind you. Not like this, because then your shoulder's not doing that.
Oh,
Makes it look wider through the top line. Your arm looks thicker, and your delt pops more. How
I
about
love that Holly's head hoodie. I want to
My
get
arm
one,
doesn't look thicker, mate. I think I need
but
a
they don't
thicker
make it
arm.
anymore.
They don't. They don't make it anymore. Oh, Luke's muted now.
Boys, do you want to see my sister's lizard?
What
Gecko.
the heck? Why are you holding that thing, man?
He just
That's a dinosaur, bro.
What's his name?
True.
man's vibing.
Huh?
Tiger.
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 He's
See,
not
this
a
is why
tiger, he's a
we need
lizard.
more
That's
views
not
on
a
the
tiger,
YouTube
man.
because this is the type of interesting shit we get up to.
What? That's a swear.
Yes,
John,
John
you-
got one.
Isn't one.
Yes,
I still
John,
think you're in the
failure.
lead, Jack.
I'm amazed that
Oh,
Luke's
he's going on
saying
my own.
this. He's a madman.
Well, whatever time this is in the recording, come to this if you want to see a lizard.
Lizard,
do any
lizard at
tricks?
39 minutes.
Well, timestamps work. You can't just, if they're here, they're already here. There's nothing we can do.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
appreciate
no. Well, okay. Well, check what time it's on Spotify and go to that time on YouTube if you want to see the lizard. There you go.
Yeah, lizard at 40 minutes past, bro.
Lizard. 40 minutes in,
Jeez.
a lizard. Right? If you want
Right,
to see a
should we tackle a couple more and wrap it up?
Oh god, did you guys bring any? Because the rest of the Chat GBT ones are pretty dead.
No, I've got none. I didn't even try this week.
I can
Jack,
do a
you put
damn
a
rant.
couple in the group chat.
Maybe I'll ask in my client group chat. That way people actually respond. Right, I'll do it right now. Hey guys.
Yeah, do you know,
No,
that's a
it's
good
not-
idea.
They're not going to respond that quickly, are they? Go on then, Dan. What do you want to rant about this week?
Right, let me get my list. This is going to be a segment that comes on my Instagram. I've done a few on the close friend story, and they've gone down pretty well, if I'm honest.
Good
But I
response.
can cover the ones I've put on my close friend story already, if we want.
Nah, they're not going to be so passionate, are they?
Nah, they are. Okay,
all right. Go on then. Go on
don't
then.
worry. The passion never leaves me, man. What was the first rant? Hang on. Oh right, the first one's about coaches. Oh god, sorry to call you out here, boys. You kind of
Yeah.
I know what it's going to be, yeah.
yeah. But I haven't seen it from you guys. Nice cameo behind you there, Luke. But people, I'm not going to name names of the person I saw. But when you say in like 12,
Unless it's after the podcast.
if you say in 12 weeks your client's got like 4 kilo heavier, and you're saying they're leaner and better, or, you know, granted they may be new training like elite genetics or assisted doesn't count, but like you can tell when someone does this and it's just like it's because of the lighting, comparing like a check-in to a post-workout pump picture in like good lighting, and like they're full now, like you get me saying they're bigger and leaner, they're not, they're just stood in better lighting with a pump, like, and they've learned how to pose. That was a rant that went on there.
There's
And
always that balance of like showing someone that's visually leaner and being like they're making it clear that like they're visually leaner, but on paper they're not. If you've gained muscle, you don't get as washed out with fat. Think of it as like squash and water. If you've got more squash, it's less diluted. So if you're carrying more muscle, you can carry more fat and look less fat. So it is possible to bulk and look leaner, but you are not leaner. And
in 12 weeks, I reckon it's a stretch to post.
Just stop the trend, bro.
Yeah, to be fair, Luke's right. Yeah, everyone do that.
Do you want to know
Works
the next
every
one?
time.
You ready?
Secret ingredient in the client care package. It's just a vial of trend.
Client care in the protein shaker is just a vial of trend.
Yeah, man. I don't know how that came to me. Yeah, Dan, what's the next one? What
It was. You remember this?
What are you
Two
concerned about?
coaches that I respect as coaches, or well, I still respect them as people, but maybe not their knowledge that I thought they may have had. And it may have been an innocent mistake on one of their behalves, but on the other, it's inexcusable, saying that a leg press can train hamstrings. Now, I'm much more passionate and confident in my argument now, because before everyone confirmed it to me, I thought, you know, maybe there's a possibility and there's a gap in my knowledge or something. But you can't. It's like someone, Hugh, used the analogy of it's like saying dips work your biceps.
Yeah.
So no, you can't. And I saw two coaches, one with like 25k followers, massive, stacked, like good coaching business, just clueless.
They are being used to an extent, but they are not being stimulated. They're not doing anything that's going to cause them to grow at all. So as far as you're concerned, for like telling clients, if you're a coach, squats, leg press, there is nothing hamstring about them. It doesn't matter that, they're stabilizing your hip and your knee a little bit, because no one cares. They're not being grown. So
they're moving, but not under load. That's
like
how
my hands are under load when I'm on a hack. Who cares? They're not going to grow off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the hamstrings are they cross your hip and your knee. So they're lengthening at the hip, but they're getting shorter at the knee. Your body is smart. It knows what's good at doing what. It's going to recruit something that can help with those things. It's not going to recruit something that's going to be completely counterproductive to that.
Yeah, like if you got a muscle that crosses two joints and one's shorter and one's longer, it's staying the same size. It's not doing anything. Think about hamstring exercise. Either just your hips or just your knees will be moving. That's what makes it hamstring exercise.
Now just move both, bro. It's actually better.
Just think about using your hamstrings a lot, and they'll get used.
Oh my days! Oh my days!
I have got a question from my chat, from my clients already. Bang on it.
Jeez, they're on it.
Yeah, they got no lives, mate. It's because I programmed them all to like stay indoors and sit on the chat in case I say anything. That's it. What it says on my plans. So we got two people asking the same questions. What are your views on NoFap? Because boxers don't have sex before a fight. Should gym athletes do the same? John looks terrified and a little bit.
I'll take it. I'll take it if needs be.
Go on, Dan.
My mum's right behind me, so somebody else, please.
Hello, Luke.
Do this question.
Can she hear us? Can she hear us?
No. I do reckon we could shout really loud.
Luke.
I'd say there's probably more mental benefits than physical benefits. Like I don't know the science behind it, but I don't think there's going to be much of an effect on performance. Well, that's what I've gathered. However, I've seen a lot about mental benefits like willpower, that sort of stuff, and like clarity and whatever they preach. But you only live once, man.
The thing is, like,
is that post-nut clarity? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, man. Sometimes you need that in life, man. Big turning point made.
The pre-nut unwellness. That's what you want. Think right.
It's the pre-nut confusion and the mid-nut learning.
Male test levels will go up and down all day. They don't stay the same. When you orgasm, they will drop, but minutely and for a small amount of time, and very quickly come back. And you can feel it because after you've just had an orgasm, you're not really that keen to go and have another one, are you? It takes time for that to come back. So it's the exact same. If you hold it in, you might get more aggressive, which might be good for your sets. But there's evidence to show that if you do it over a long enough period of time, you can see some potential health defects or even hormonal defects if you don't masturbate or have sex for a very long time, for a very, very long time. And that's, the research is still a bit iffy, but just do what you want. Like, it's pointless to hold it in, genuinely.
Try to be restrained. Just don't do it all the time, all day, every day or something. And apparently porn's really bad for you, so don't watch that.
Yeah, genuinely don't.
I can't remember the last time I watched it.
It also teaches you some degree of delayed gratification as well.
Yeah.
Which is
it's
like,
quite a quick
obviously
reward system, is it not? Because it is dopamine, correct me if I'm wrong, it is dopamine, it's the main reward system of the body, so there's no point doing it all the time.
Bro, if you try hard enough, you can like crack out some dopamine in like a minute.
Well, you can fully get addicted and reliant on it, and then you can get like, I'm sure if you overloaded your brain with enough of it, you can get like, what is it, dopamine disorder or whatever, dopamine syndrome. You just stay indoors and just crank one out all day, you get pretty sad.
Don't do it.
Just like, I think you're fine as long as you don't do it right before a lift. I think if you did it right before a lift, it might mess up your set.
Oh, so not
Let me just go to the toilet
a hack squat set. Here we go.
Yeah, can you imagine? You come out of it and be like, I can't be asked for anything.
Talk about a parasympathetic state.
Yeah, do it before your post-workout, mate, then you're set. Post-workout meal, rest and digest.
That's terrible.
Why does anybody listen to us?
Just don't stress about it is the main message. But
Jack, what was your other question?
It was that they were both.
Oh, they were both the same. Yes, I remember you saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fair play, man.
We can wrap it up there, I reckon. Get a short pod.
Lord.
Well, have we got any more?
Any more what questions?
Yeah, or myths.
One thing we mentioned in the chat was protein quality.
Oh yeah, this is actually interesting. How
do we feel
valid
about
is
that?
research, Mr. Archer, as you
Yeah, so there's been some recent research that shows that as long as you're hitting enough total grams of protein quality doesn't come into it that much. It's newer research. I mean, you got anecdotal evidence of like there are people who are vegan who are pretty wham, but it's fairly uncommon. But I think the reason that it's uncommon is because not a lot of bodybuilders are interested in veganism and vice versa. So it's probably just like a conflict of interest. If you're someone who's vegetarian or vegan, I think just crank the protein a little bit higher. Don't worry too much about quality, and you'll probably be fine. For most people, I say, like, if they're eating a lot of high quality protein, the protein target doesn't need to be as high. If they're getting a lot of trace protein, then the protein target will probably be a bit higher.
Finessed it.
Oh, thoughts on cannabis on recovery? John, you're up.
John and Dan, the duo.
I don't think it's necessarily the best for recovery. You can sort of compare it to caffeine. Hear me out. You can sort of compare it to caffeine because the main psychoactive substance in cannabis is THC, and this is very commonly known to increase heart rate. That's kind of what causes the panic when a lot of people smoke, or the paranoia, is because your heart rate is so elevated. You're put into the state of delirious. Am I being watched? You do not know. The government is spying on you. But as well, it can kind of fuck around with oh, on French.
Ooh.
It can mess your REM sleep up as well. I'm not too sure if it's because of its effect on heart rate, but if you're smoking and then going to sleep, it's not necessarily ideal because total REM sleep will be decreased and you'll wake up a tired, old, cranky man.
I recognise that.
Oh my god, all the questions are coming in now, boys. My chat's waking up. Jesus.
I get the same. I actually get that with the REM sleep, which is why I've pulled back on my use a fair bit. I used to do it a lot more, but I don't do it as frequently. I have a reason to do it now, if you get me. Like, I won't just sit in my room and have a zoo or whatever. I'll like actually have a reason to do it, or I'll be with someone or something, you know. So because I do see that it affects my sleep. No bueno. I wake up.
Do you sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Is there any like anxiety control for your reason for use?
I don't really get anxiety as long as I'm doing it in like a pretty safe space. Sometimes when I walk around, I'm like at the dark. I'm thinking, oh, like is there someone about? Like, kind of out. When I went home this weekend for Mother's Day, I was walking around, and where I live, there's not really many street lights, and it's kind of one road and quite off the track. So it's kind of like, oh, is there anyone cutting about? But right now, I'm sat in my room, like I'm sound. So I don't really get that. I'm handle it pretty well. But if I feel myself going that way, it's probably overusage. So
yeah, there's been a lot of things come out recently about prolonged use and increased anxiety levels. So the longer you actually use for, the less effective as an anxiety reducer it will be, if that is what your purpose for using is.
Mine's just for the bands, isn't it? It's like an alternative to drinking sometimes as well. That's commonly what I use it for. If I'm in a social setting where people are drinking, most people in my life that I care about and care about me will be okay with me being stoned instead, because I think it makes less of an impact than alcohol on like your progress. But I still think it's like not socially acceptable in the same way, but it's like, oh, he's not sober, if you get me. There's some sort of like connectivity attached to it, as long as you're not a killjoy because you're stoned. Jack, did you get a question?
I've got a ton of question now. Oh my god,
group chat are coming through with it. They're following one another.
Are they ones? Are they rapid fire ones, or should we save them for next time round if they're going to be longer ones?
I'll run through them and then we can use it as a teaser for the next episode, or we can cover them. We got using the gym to treat mental health, joint health versus heavyweight training, discipline versus motivation.
Oh, I quite like them. I think you save them for next week. I think they're really good. I reckon you get a good combo out of them.
Yeah, let's save them for next week.
Right. That's all I've got then, boys. That's all I've got. That's all Matt's got.
Well, I've got ChatGPT's all out. Well, out good ones for now.
I reckon we can use that in the future.
I think they're actually really good.
We should do an episode on coaching and like the influence of people versus AI, because I think there are going to be a lot of people out there that think that coaching is dead and or dying because of AI. And I think it would be good for us to cover like, no, and here's why, you know.
Yeah, we can definitely run through that. I'll put that in the list of topics. I've completely forgotten the questions already, so write them down so we remember.
No.
Sick one. Stand boys. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. That is all for today. John is going to sign us off with a salute. Oh, if I can end the recording. There we go.